Grand jury, here standing before you is the murder of an inspirational political figure. There is much evidence collected by Detective Buku that will be shown to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that our chosen suspect is indeed the criminal in this murder case.
We must begin by describing the incident and its background information. On September 1st, the mayor of Castrotown, Wendy Wicked, was reported missing by her husband, William Wicked. She went missing right before an important meeting that would possibly influence the future of Castrotown and Lake Melvin Park.
Mayor Wicked supported a very controversial plan to build an industrial park. The location of this new park would be on a site that is home to several small businesses in an area of wilderness called Lake Melvin Park. Many citizens felt she was corrupt and wrong in this matter, but that didn't stop Mayor from capturing the support of many other citizens. The day before the town council meeting that would have decided this issue, the mayor went missing. Coincidence? I think not.
Mayor Wicked missed the town council meeting and remained missing. Her car was discovered near Lake Melvin a week from the council meeting, abandoned with obvious hints of foul play. There was blood on the seat, a bloody tire iron located near the car, and a second set of car tracks. 5 days later, her body was discovered at Lake Melvin Park Lodge and Resort. The body was found to have a single bullet hole in her chest, as well as a large wound on the back of her head. The presence of decay and maggots suggests that the victim was dead approximately 5 days upon discovery.
The suspects of the murder include William Wicked, the husband of Mayor Wicked, Kay Kingsbury, and the mayor's cousin, the former mayor Vicki Young Varner, her brother Matthew Young, William Wicked's boating lesson instructor Anita Angus, and his past lover Penny Poland. Here we have a board depicting the various relationships between the victim and the subsequent suspects. The purple line represents each person's tie to Wendy. The pink line signifies love, interest, and the orange line represents the family ties.
There was a multitude of evidence essential to the case that Detective Buku has presented. First, we received a crime incident report describing the victim, location, and other facts about the murder. We received a missing persons report from William Wicked 14 days before the victim's death. The incident's background information was presented, describing events and interactions occurring in relevant time to the case. There's also a character profile for each of the 6 suspects, giving possible motives, evidence, and relationships of each character. Fingerprints were taken from Mayor Wicked's vehicle, her body, the hotel room, her bloody clothing, and the tire iron. Alibis were given by suspects and either confirmed or unconfirmed by Detective Buku. Pictures were taken of a second track of tires near Mayor Wicked's car and compared to each of the suspects' vehicles.
Maggots were taken from Mayor Wicked's body and measured to determine the date of her death. Blood samples were taken from the victim's car, the tire iron, and the room. Each suspect's blood type was taken and compared to the blood types found. Hair samples were taken from each of the suspect's car, which included both animal and human hair. DNA evidence was taken from the victim, blood from the victim's car, blood from the tire iron, blood from the room, under the victim's fingernails, and hair found in the room. Guns and ammunition were tested to see which was used to kill Mayor Wicked. Trials calculated with velocity and mass were performed with a tire iron to see if it was a viable weapon used. The fall out of the Lake Melvin Lodge and Resort was tested using velocity to see if it could have been a viable cause of the head injury.
In order to determine the approximate day of death, the maggot specimen found on the victim was examined. Measurements on the largest lava confirmed that on the day the victim's body was found, she had been dead for 5 days. On the day the victim went missing, both Matthew Young and Vicki Varner had unconfirmed alibis. As for the day that the victim was believed to have been murdered, Vicki Varner, Anita Angus, and William Wicked all had unconfirmed alibis. The tire tracks found next to the mayor's abandoned car were examined and found to match those of Anita Angus. Fingerprints were collected from the victim's vehicle, the victim herself, the hotel room, bloody clothing, and the tire iron. Wendy Wicked, the victim, had DNA samples on everything except the tire iron. Kay Kingsbury and William Wicked left their fingerprints in the vehicle and on the victim. Matthew Young's fingerprints were left only in the room. Penny Pullens were found in the vehicle and in the room. Vicky Varner's were on the victim and in the room. Anita Angus's were found in the vehicle, and both her and William Wicked's fingerprints were found on the tire iron.
The blood type found in the victim's car was of both Pullen and William Wicked, while Varner's blood was found in the room. The tire iron contained blood from the victim. In regards to the hair found, there was animal hair in Young, Varner, and William Wicked's car. On the other hand, human hair was found in the car of Kingsbury, Pullen, and Angus. Young's DNA was evident in the blood from the room, and Pullen's DNA was found in the blood from the victim's car. Varner's DNA was discovered in the blood from the room, and Angus's DNA was found under the victim's fingernails. William Wicked's DNA was recovered from both the blood in the victim's car and in the hair from the room. After a thorough analysis of the 8 different types of guns and 5 types of bullets, it is believed the gun used was the Cal-Tech VF9 with a 3.1-inch barrel, and the bullet used was a Federal. This is because at a momentum of 2.39 kilograms meters per second, which is consistent with the momentum range of the handgun's recoil. The tire iron was determined to be a viable murder weapon because 2 out of the 3 trials had a calculated velocity between 10 and 20 meters per second. A fall from the 3rd floor of the lodging resort proved to also have been a viable weapon because the calculated estimated height was close to the height of her rope.
Our primary suspect is William Wicked. There is much evidence of motive that incriminates the suspect. In recent times, William and Wendy's relationship has been rocky and filled with heated arguments. He has been disappointed with his wife's lack of financial success. 3 weeks before his wife went missing, he increased the amount of life insurance on his wife to $2 million. On the day Wendy Wicked died, William did not have a confirmed alibi. William's hair was found in the room Mayor Wicked fell out of. William had help from some of the other suspects, but he is the one who committed the murder.
Matthew Young and Vicky Varner lured Mayor Wicked to Lake Melvin Hotel and Resort and captured her. Pam Pullen rented the room under the name of the activist group Environment California. There at the hotel was William Wicked and Anita Angus. They held her there for a week, trying to convince her to change her mind on the industrial park issue. On Monday, Mayor Wicked surprised her captors by punching Vicky Varner in the face, drawing blood. She ran to her car and drove off. Angus and William then drove after her in Angus's car and bumped Mayor Wicked's car off the road. Angus then got out and ran over with a tire iron. Mayor Wicked fought back, scratching and kicking, but Angus knocked her out with the tire iron, explaining the victim's blood on the tire iron and Angus's prints on the tire iron. Angus and William carried her back to the hotel. William had always wanted to kill her as a result of the plan due to their past rocky relationship, and because William had increased the life insurance on Wendy. He used this opportunity to fulfill his wishes. William shot Wendy with a gun from Angus's hunting store, and he threw her out the window.
The other suspects were ruled out due to insufficient motive and lack of evidence. Kingsbury was ruled out as a murderer because she had a confirmed alibi the day Wendy Wicked was killed, and she had no DNA that matched the evidence acquired. Varner did not have any DNA that matched the samples gathered as well. Young and Pullen also had a confirmed alibi the day of Wendy's murder. Although Angus had a motive to kill Wendy Wicked, evidence suggests that she did not have as much to gain as William did from the murder. Angus's fingerprints were found on the tire iron, and her DNA was found under the victim's fingernails. She also did not have a confirmed alibi, and her prints were found in the car. Angus's tire tracks were even found near Wendy's car. She had access to guns and ammunition from her hunting store. Thus, she could have helped William obtain the gun that killed Wendy.
Additional information that would be necessary to further improve the investigation would include a list of any guns in possession of the suspects, more detailed pictures of the suspects' tires, and the actual hair that was found in the room. Also, a more detailed report of the suspects' confirmed alibis, including where they were and their witnesses, and a transcript of suspects' interviews.
An ethical implication was the use of DNA as evidence to incriminate the suspects. It can be seen as unethical to obtain one's DNA for the purpose of a criminal investigation. If informed consent was not given, DNA should be kept private to the individual if it was not already in the database. DNA forensics suffered some complications as some of the suspects had family ties, thus their DNA was similar. This made it difficult to pinpoint a suspect to a specific piece of evidence. In the end, there was no constitutional violations evident in the case.